of Johannesburg's electricity supplier, that's City Power, says it's feeling the strain of the ongoing power outages. City Power says load shedding is damaging its infrastructure. With the announcement then of a possible move to stage 6 power cuts this evening, City Power is concerned. Newzroom Afrika's Zikhona Tshona is joining us with more on this story. Zikhona, what exactly is City Power dealing with as a result of these blackouts?
So City Power has spoken out to say that the ongoing power cuts, in far as load shedding is concerned, are putting strain on its infrastructure and causing damages at some points. Also saying that it's put a strain on its grid as well because it's winter now. People are using appliances such as heaters, and geysers are on for way longer. And they've also urged the citizens of Johannesburg to try and minimize use of those appliances, saying they put a lot of strain on the power utility, but also to say the ongoing load shedding has also meant that they have lost revenue. But to talk to us more about the damages caused to the city's infrastructure is the City Power spokesperson Isaac Mangena. We are facing a possibility of a stage 6 load shedding from this evening. Is the city prepared? What is being done to prepare?
Unfortunately, that means bad news for City Power, and by extension, it means more problems for our customers, because of already we are battling under pressure due to stage 4 of load shedding. As you mentioned in your intro, we have problems, especially because of the increase in demand due to this inclement weather. And obviously, when you add load shedding on that, it means we are not able to. We have to divide our resources between responding to the outages and also responding to the on and off, the 2-hourly on and offs as presented to us by load shedding. So with the talk about stage 6, I can safely say that City Power is not really ready to basically deal with higher stages than we are now.
A lot of people in the city have also been complaining about extended load shedding. What is causing this? What would you say to those people?
Yes, of course, with load shedding, obviously there are many problems that happen. Our infrastructure basically gets faulty. We've got faulty transformers, feeder boards, even cables. Some of them that are not able to basically handle the cooling off of 2 hours because of when you start to switch on, you get this inrush current that is coming through, and it basically trips again. And that is the problem that we are having because of this load shedding, but also because of some of our transformers or substations, especially those along the border towns or border suburbs like Rambek and other areas, are switched on and off by Eskom. So when their technicians are currently on strike, it means that they will basically drag their feet, or they may not be able to respond as quickly as possible. But we are doing everything in our power as City Power to ensure that we increase our own operators in those areas where we know there are problematic areas in terms of coming back or not coming back on time. Instead of 2 hours, customers going to an extra hour or another 2 hours. So we are beefing up our own operators in those areas so that we are able to basically respond as quickly as possible. But as I'm saying, this is really stretching the already depleted resources that we are having. I'm talking about the human resources, the financial resources, and even the parts that we are supposed to use to basically replace those transformers and mini substations that have blown up because of the switching on and off. By its nature, electricity infrastructure was never meant to be switched on and off at short intervals, and with these stages going higher and higher, it means more problems for us as the city of Johannesburg.
Load shedding has been with us for a long time, and it seems it's not going to go away anytime soon. What does it mean? What do you mean when you say you're doing everything in your power? What conversations are being had in the boardrooms with regards to finding an alternative, or what else can be done?
We're having meetings almost weekly with Eskom, and we have in the past expressed our concerns about this. Remember, City of Johannesburg is a customer to Eskom. We expect that kind of a customer relationship, the relationship of a customer and the person who's providing services to another person. So that's what we are basically drumming up with Eskom to say this cannot be sustainable for us as the city. We have plans as the city to basically ensure that we grow our economy, to ensure that we attract investments, to ensure that we service the residents that are taxpayers, the people that are actually paying for the services that we are buying from Eskom, and they're not getting that as you are you are aware with this load shedding. So those are some of the talks that we are having with Eskom to say some of these things really need to be dealt with. The issue of the strike, the unprotected strike that they're having, needs to be resolved as quickly as possible so that we are also protected ourselves as the customer of Eskom from a situation where we basically are buckling under and we're not going to be able. Remember, during load shedding, we're not able to even do maintenance. So these problems will come even after load shedding has long passed, because we will have a situation where we've got infrastructure that was not properly maintained as it's supposed to. It's like your car. If your car is due for service and you are not able to basically take it for service as when it's supposed to, you go after 6 months, it might basically get stuck on your way to Durban and you may not reach your destination. So it's the same with our transformers and other infrastructure. If we are not maintaining, it means we're not going to be able to go far with this thing.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time. That's Isaac Mangena, who's a spokesperson of City Power, saying they are certainly concerned with the risk of stage 6 load shedding expected or possibly happening from 5 o'clock this evening, saying that they, as a power utility, rely on Eskom, and the best they can do is to do the best that they can do with whatever services Eskom can provide. But also speaking about the infrastructure that has been affected by the load shedding, say that it's very hard for them to maintain infrastructure, for example, because when there's load shedding, everything has to come to a standstill.
Zikhona, thank you very much for that. Zikhona Tshona reporting on the country's energy crisis.